How are you?
Good, good, good. First of all, let me start off by saying that we're very, very excited to have you in this live chat today. And why don't we start with you giving us a brief about yourself and about your profile?
Sure. So, originally I'm an architect, and throughout my career, I kind of slowly moved to the business side of things. So today I'm the of the IBD company and the IBD Hub. And the IBD Hub in particular is a company that helps architects and engineers to start their business, and if they already have one, to make it grow and get more clients and more projects adapted to their values.
It's
So I'm
definitely
very
a very
happy to
interesting
be,
topic.
yeah, and I'm very happy to be here today. So thank you, Salma, for the invitation to participate.
Thank you so much for being here today with us. And why don't we start by going over a few questions? First, also, we would like to mention if any of the viewers have like starting a new business or have any questions about how to start a new business. Definitely, Julia will be able to answer your questions towards the end of the session. So let me start by the very first question that I have right here is what do you think are the main challenges facing architects in getting business and in getting new clients?
Right. So the first challenge I would say is that even though we did 5 to 6 years of university, we had zero notion of business. We didn't know, no one taught us to do business. No one taught us to start a company. So I think that is the biggest struggle that I see out there, is that there is a lot of skills in the architecture and engineering world. And I'm talking not only about young people, but also people that are in the management teams of very big companies. There is some lack of awareness of what business looks like. So that's the first struggle. And the second struggle is, well, due to this fact, a lot of people have a hard time to structure a company or to structure the first steps to start a company. So yeah, I think these are the two biggest pains, let's say, that people get when they come and see me.
Yeah, definitely. Also, moving on to the next question, what do you think of generating leads on social media, and what do you think are the like pros and cons of doing so?
There is different platforms for different types of clients. So I think that the most important thing is to be very clear about what type of projects you are looking for, and then use these platforms accordingly. So I would suggest people that are more in the interior design, more into the private housing and so on, to use Instagram and Facebook as platforms to generate leads, but without spending too much money on advertisement. It just needs to be pages to showcase your expertise and to showcase the looks that you would use if a client was coming to you and asking you to build a house or do interior design. For people who are looking for bigger projects, so such as hospitals, such as schools, and so on, usually the platform is more LinkedIn, because there is more professionals, and these are projects that need much more investment and people that agree for the project to go forward. So LinkedIn is definitely the right way, and always position yourself always as an expert, as opposed to just putting pretty pictures of your references on social media.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't agree more. And also, I think putting your stuff online also help people to view it and be able to engage more and connect directly with you. So I agree with
Exactly.
everything you said. All right, moving forward to the next question. Do you think clients prefer to hire architects, or they'd rather they would rather hire a local architect, or like someone who lives in the same location as they are, or would they be open to hire international architects as well?
I think again it depends on the project. I think that if the client is smart, he's gonna hire the one with the best skills, as opposed to the one that is just on the spot. But with Corona, what we saw is that we can really work from a computer and from a distance. So I'm hoping that people will rather pick someone that has the right qualities, even if they're not, in the same city or something, because
Yeah.
as architects we can work from home like very easily or from another location. So I
Mhm.
hope that Corona kind of encourages that and gives more opportunities.
Yes, exactly. I think it's like now a lot of people are just becoming more connected through online platforms, and you can get a lot of things done by just connecting online or having a live chat, being more able to engage with people. So I really agree with everything, even though
Yeah,
Corona time
exactly.
is,
I mean,
but
it's also with us. I think you're in Egypt. I'm in France. We've been
yeah,
collaborating. It goes smoothly. So actually, like it just proved us that we can make it happen. So
definitely. Yeah. All right. Next question I have here is architects and engineers are usually prefer to focus on technical part of the job. What is your
yeah,
advice on giving more attention to the business development?
right. So that's a big question. So yeah, indeed, the biggest mistake that architecture and engineer make is that we are very deep within the project. So we care about the details, about the software that we use. When we present our projects, we can spend hours on saying like, okay, like last time, look at my reference, we did this and that. And most of the time, the client, he doesn't care about that, right?
Hmm.
Like this is not the way to seduce him to give the job to you. It's after all, it's business. So it's about seducing the client, make him feel comfortable with
Hmm.
you and with the way that you work, your perception of things, and really kind of try to pinpoint what is the problem that the client is trying to solve and explain to him how you're going to go about it to solve it your own way. And the third point is also how, like, why should he pick you instead of someone else? And if you only concentrate on details, the client has difficulties to pick who is right for the job, because most
Yeah,
of times like they don't necessarily know so it's about creating really a storytelling, being super excited about the project that he wants to do, and really try to understand what his issues are so you can reassure him and explain him the process.
yeah, definitely. All right. This is the last question we have. So in case anyone has like further questions from the viewers, please write them below so that we answer them at the end of the session.
Okay.
So how can freelance architects and engineers promote their work without necessarily starting a company?
Right. So being a freelancer in a way is the same as starting your own company. Like in terms of steps to take to start your company or your freelancing, it is the same actually, because you still need to brand yourself. You need to
Mhm.
still position yourself as an expert. So the steps are very similar, and there's not much difference because everyone starts from the same point, and then later on, once you get project, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna start a team and hire people and so on. But when we're at the very start, a freelancer or someone that wants to start a company has, you know, they have the same goal, but then they can decide to grow it in a different way. But for freelancers, the personal branding is crucial. So instead of doing the branding about your company like the others would, they would do the branding about themselves and their expertise and what they believe has to be done within the field, and really communicate their purpose. If your company is more about showcasing the values of the company itself, and position yourself as a company rather than an individual. But either way, the steps are the same. It's just a different way to showcase your work and your expertise.
Yeah. Well, that's the last question we had, and we have one question I think from viewers. Let me just go over it right here. Yeah, someone is asking about how many years of experience is recommended to start your own design company.
Yeah, so that's a question that I get quite regularly. So the thing is that you can work in companies and have experience in companies, but usually what happens is that the company sees that you have a skill. They keep putting you in projects or give you the task where they think you're good at. So they're not really trying to push you to learn new things. So in my opinion, you learn by doing. So the earliest you start your own company, the more you're gonna start learning the right skills to have a company. And what I suggest to most of my clients is start your company and say yes to the projects that you get. And if you're unsure about your experience, you can always subcontract freelancers to help you with the parts that you're not feeling comfortable with. So that next time around, then you will know what to do and you will know how to react. So I think that's, you know, that sums up a little bit my philosophy. I see that even some graduates now with the corona, they struggle to find a job because it's very difficult. So I definitely invite them also to think about freelancing or starting something with some friends and so on, rather than apply blindly to companies that are not ready to hire yet.
Yes, definitely. Also, moving forward to the next question, what are the general recommended marketing strategies for design companies? And are they different from general marketing strategies?
That's a good question. Yes and no. So the important an architecture project takes much longer than any other services or any other products to take in place. So your company has to, you know, back in the days we used to say like, okay, the client needs to see your advertisement 7 times before he buys. Now we're so many architects, they actually need to see you 70 times before they decide to go for you as an architect. So there is a lot of competition, and the first steps that is important is to really settle on what is your purpose and what are the values that you stand for, whether it's sustainability, whether it is very good quality design for living spaces, and so on. Just really try to think about what are your 5 values that you want to communicate. And then your effort is going to be put in your marketing to communicate these values and communicate your opinion as an expert on these values. So it is a little bit different than selling a product or selling another service in another field. It's, you know, the reason why I say to really think about the values is because we're stuck 5 years onto a project or even more, you want to make sure that you attract the clients that have the same values and believe in the same
Yeah.
purpose. You don't want to work for someone that doesn't, if you believe in sustainability, for instance, you don't want to work with someone who doesn't believe in it and is trying to reduce the cost about sustainability and so on. So that's why
Yeah.
marketing is so important, because it will bring you the right partners and the right clients for our profession. So yeah, it's a little bit different, and that's also why the IBD hub is made. It's a link between the normal marketing and the architecture, and it's a link between the business side of things in general and the architecture and
Yeah.
engineering. So we're trying to really make this very specific to architects and engineers.
Yeah, because I think it's not an easy task for a lot of people. Actually, we have another question from a business owner as well. She
Okay.
goes, as an owner, am I the one who must be handling the business development in my company?
Um, Again, the difficulty with having to hire someone for business development is that there is not really a training for business development people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hire someone to help you for applying and to do the marketing and so on, that's great. But I think that business owners need to have the skills to put in place a strategy that works for both business development and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And the management team are a support system to the owner. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
the ones to then go and meet the right people. I think that hiring someone is still not they can have a business background, but they will not understand the architecture part of it.
Yeah.
So it's better to invest in your own skills and your management team skills, and then have a support system of marketing people and social media people that can help you to execute it. But the strategy has to come from you, I think.
Yeah. Uh, it's a lot of very beneficial information, to be honest. And here we have another question that relates to your course on iDesign. Someone's asking if,
Sure.
like, she wants to know a brief about the course and for whom it's recommended.
Sorry, I didn't hear your first question.
Someone is asking about regarding the course on iDesign. She just wants to know who is it recommended for, and she also wants to like know a brief about the course content itself.
Okay, so the course is called How to Start Your Own Business if you're an architect or an engineer. And it's recommended to anyone that would like to take that step in the near future or later on. But it kind of helps you to go each steps that you will have to go through in order to put in place a company that will generate projects and clients. So I would advise it for anyone that always had this dream of like starting their own company and that has always been a little bit scared of, taking the right step.
Yeah.
But also for people that with this situation now is really determined to start their business in a good structured way that works. So the methodology that we put in place is aiming to generate projects, and it has been proven to work for also bigger companies. So the idea is that even if you have your company right now but you don't know how to get projects, sign up, because you will have all the steps to how to get a project and make it work in the best way. So I think
Yes.
it welcomes a lot of people, especially now. So I hope that you will all enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to have you on board for it.
Yeah, and while we are at that topic, actually, we want to announce that Julia will be taking over iDesign account every Thursday to do a live coaching session. So stay tuned because we're going to be announcing everything on the Instagram page. And meanwhile, Julia, can you please also elaborate regarding the coaching, the live coaching session, please?
Sure. I mean, I coach, so aside from iDesign course, I also coach one-to-one. So these live session on iDesign's platform, I will be selecting a few people every time and answer some of their questions about their struggle, about their business, about how to get a project, how to market themselves, and so on. And it's going to be very specific to the person that I will select every time. I think we will be about 3 or 4 people every time, every live, and I hope that all of you will be there, because we're trying to make that weekly so that more people enjoy it and get their answers to their issues.
Perfect. Before we wrap this up, we have one last question. As
Sure.
experts, we know the value of sustainable designs. Do you think people have the awareness of moving towards sustainable designs?
I think that especially with Corona, we all realize the importance of sustainability within design, because we were locked for so long in our houses, and we realized, like, prior to Corona, people were trying to shrink the apartments and make more money as possible. And now what we realize is that people actually enjoy being in their house, enjoy being in the spaces where they are. So sustainability has to be applied. And I think that even the investors now are taking it as a selling point. They will be able to sell more if they include sustainability within their designs. So definitely, I think it's important. The only thing is that for many years, sustainability has been a marketing thing for architects, and they were not necessarily executing it. So now we're going to have to prove that we can do it, and we can do it in the right way, and it's not just a marketing thing so that people buy, like,
Yeah,
we need to switch that around.
yeah, definitely. I think this is the time where we really switch everything around.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All
Well, we
right,
had
Julie.
to change, like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 2021 is the new year, so we're all up for that,
Exactly.
definitely. All right, Julia, that was a pleasure having you here, and we would like to
Thank
thank
you so
you. And
much.
also, definitely, we're going to be waiting for your live coaching sessions next week. And thank you
Sure.
so much for your time, and have a great, great day.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Have a great day. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.